There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Hey, everybody. So happy to have you here, giving me a piece of your afternoon, right? I love that you give me a little chunk of your afternoon so much here. Larry Sharp, host of the Sharp Way Show, and of course, hope of A Free Solution. Here, WYSL, Rochester, New York, WENY, ENI, Elmira, Corning, the Patriot, and of course, WACK in Newark, New York. As I always say, the cool Newark. 585-346-3000. Look, a lot of people now are talking about the George Floyd officer's Chauvin trial. I get it. It's popular. It's big deal from last year. I get it completely. But I want to bring up something that is tied to it, but isn't. And as I talked about the violence from Atlanta, Georgia, the violence from Colorado, I said, before we got details, I said, I can guarantee you, I will somehow link it to lockdowns. Remember that? Lockdowns. If you've noticed the lockdowns, the government response to COVID, most people are talking about, well, how many lives were saved or not saved? Or what if we didn't lock down, people would have died? I want to look at the response that the government did from COVID, the lockdowns, and see that one of the biggest issues is actual violence, not death or damage from COVID, which is real too. Don't get me wrong. Not a hoax. It's real. Absolutely exists. Yes, real. And so is the violence that we're seeing all over the place. Rochester, New York City, Colorado, Georgia. Every single one of these can be somehow tied to lockdowns. Why, Larry? How can you say that? The government had to lock us down in our houses, or we might have died of COVID. Possible. But most of the people being shot, most of the people being beaten, most people dying now, they're young. They're people who wouldn't have died of COVID. It wouldn't have affected them at all. Yeah. There's got to be over a dozen people killed in Rochester already this year. There's several dozen killed in New York City already this year. There's over 100, maybe 200 gun arrests, maybe even 300 gun arrests in New York City this year. Gun arrests in a city that has some of the harshest gun control in the world, surely in this country. Yet gun arrests all the time. There was a guy, was it yesterday, day before yesterday, in the Bronx? Someone comes in to a bar, has a fight, whatever it is, stabs somebody in the back of the head. Not making this up. Stabs a guy in the back of the head. The guy's buddy draws a gun out of his hoodie pocket. He's got a gun, a pistol, in his hoodie pocket, pulls it out, and chases the guy at the street and fires 3-4 times in the street trying to hit him. Misses him because he's a crappy shot or drunk or whatever. Misses him and hits somebody else, an innocent bystander woman, hits her in her butt. Just takes a bullet in the butt as a bystander. That's what the Bronx is now. Well, Larry, it's because the Bronx is terrible with crime. No, I grew up in the Bronx. That's not the reason why. The reason is everyone's locked down. We don't have jobs. We don't have purpose. Our entire culture's changed because of this. So we're doing stupid stuff because people who are desperate act desperately. So how am I linking this to anything else? What do you think's happening in Rochester? Same ideas. What do you think's happening? What happened in Georgia? What happened in Colorado? People sitting at home with nothing to do. Sitting at home online all day, driving themselves crazy over stuff. Thinking to themselves, why are things so bad? What can I do? I'm going to take action. I'm going to go do something. And now people die. Now there's violence. I'll even draw this back to George Floyd. I even draw back then. And some of you have heard this story before, but I don't care. It matters now. If there weren't lockdowns, George Floyd wouldn't be there, wouldn't have been there. if he wouldn't have been there, he wouldn't have been killed. He wouldn't have died. Whether it was fentanyl that killed him or the cop that killed him or whatever you want to say killed him, and we'll find out, I'm sure, once the trial's over. All these people will believe whatever they want to believe, whatever, when the trial's over, we'll find out. But my point is, he lost his job because of COVID shutdowns. So he would have been at work. Therefore, he's not taking fentanyl. Therefore, he's not passing a fake $20 bill. Therefore, no cops are called. And he's not dead. So even that, the trial of the century, because of COVID lockdowns, the increase in violence, the increase in pain is a self-inflicted wound by our government. And we sat back and said, whatever. I would ask you, who is talking about this? Who's saying all this violence is because of government? They're not. They're saying it's bad people, or why aren't people doing what this would be doing? So now the answer is one of two things. Well, we should defund the police or double down on police. Both are the wrong answer. The right answer is get people back to work. Get people doing stuff. Get people feeling like they don't believe violence is the best answer. That's the actual answer. Everything else is just a Band-Aid at best, and maybe even disaster at worst. Let's have the police crack down. Great. So there's more violence? What could go wrong there? Let's defund the police so no one can defend us. What could go wrong there? And you know what we should do on top of that? Let's enact more gun control, because that clearly works. New York City is having gun violence problems. What if we made the entire country like New York City? We'd have more gun violence, not less. The evidence is clear. No one's saying the reason for all of this is the fact that government is cracking down. The more government forces us to do things, the more we rebel. The war on drugs, more drugs. The war on terrorism, more terrorists. And now the war on whatever this is, I don't know what this is, another bad war. Nothing but bad stuff. This doesn't work. And yes, I linked it all back to the same thing. You know I'm a libertarian. I'm going to link most of it back to government no matter what. You know that's what I'm going to do, because that's the overarching cloud that we live under. And if you're going to govern, if you're going to say, I'm going to govern, then you have to understand human nature. If you're going to lead at all, if you're going to lead, you want people to voluntarily want to get behind you. You want people to voluntarily say, you know what? That guy, that gal, they're squared away. I want to hang out with that person. She's got it going on. Not, I fear her that the cops will come by and arrest me or punish me if I don't follow her, so I'll follow her. That's the wrong reason to follow her. We have to follow each other because we want to. Otherwise, it creates violence. And some of that violence is external. And often that's young men trying to prove their mettle and going out and hurting people. Whether that's shooting someone in this street because they're angry. Happened, I told you the story last week. Restaurant guy gets a fight in a restaurant, goes outside and shoots the guy, then drives away. This one in the Bronx, guy stabs a guy, then the guy tried to defend him, shoots him, winds up shooting somebody else. What is that? That's young men trying to be young men. I know you, oh, Larry, you're being sexist. No, that's the stats. That's the stats, guys. But then it's also internal. Some people, when they're unhappy and sad, they strike outward, and some strike inward. Either way, they become self-destructive, because even when you're striking outward, it's going to come back to bite you. You're going to either get put in jail or shot yourself or stabbed yourself. But some just do it internally. They take their own life. They attempt to take their own life. They begin to do things that are bad. They gain weight or lose weight or take drugs or abuse substances or whatever is the thing, the way they want to punish themselves. This is a more important, this is a more serious consequence of the response to COVID, which is more deadly than COVID. All we're talking about is how many people died of COVID, which is a terrible thing. Of course it is. And on top of that, the people who are being hurt, devastated, and killed because of the lockdowns, and who will continue to be hurt, killed, and to hurt themselves in the years to come. We have locked our nation down for a year, and it's not done. And then how do you turn that around? And then how do kids turn that around? And how do people who are trying to date and have relationships turn that around? It's impossible to turn around tomorrow. The damage is deep. And I know people are upset. George Floyd, the cop didn't kill him. The cop did kill him. Okay, whatever comes up. At the end of this, to be forward, is it going to affect us at all? The family, already got a settlement, $20 some odd million. So his family already got the settlement. Settlement done. Will they maybe get some closure if I could convict the officer? Yeah, maybe. Good for them if they get some closure. But will policy change? Will anything be different? No. If he goes free, what will happen? They won't get closed. People will be angry. And what will change? Nothing. If he's convicted, goes to jail for the rest of his life, what changes? Nothing. We have to realize these lockdowns are a problem. And as I talked about it yesterday, and I'll say it again today, historians are going to look back at 2020 and say that was a pivotal part of American history. We decided that we can't control our own destiny, that we can't control ourselves. We need big daddy, big mommy government to come in and fix all our problems. And here's what I know for sure. They can't. Bulldozer parenting is a bad idea. Helicopter parenting is a bad idea. That kind of government, bad too. Am I right? Am I exaggerating? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp, a free solution. Back after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
When you've been seriously injured in a car crash, you need a lawyer who knows how to beat the big insurance companies. Call me and I'll take them on so you can focus on your health and family.
Car crash, call Salino. Salino, call Salino. 888-2020.
Main Street, Rochester. A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Hey everybody, Larry Sharp here on A Free Solution. You know what? We actually are on 5 days a week. So if you want to check us out, follow us. Follow A Free Solution on Facebook. Follow A Free Solution on YouTube. We got the cool Kevin Wilson here also, and the super cool. We even grab once in a while, we've got Andrew Hollister, the super cool Andrew Hollister shows up here too. So come on, check us out every single day. Follow us on the interwebs. It is a cool thing. I'm here now. WYSL, Rochester, New York. WENY, Elmira and Corning, the Patriot. WACK in Newark, New York. Before the break, I was talking about the violence that has come from the lockdowns. It is not done, both against others and against ourselves. Self-destructiveness too, right? Not just against others, but also self-destructiveness. You see an increase in suicides, an increase in addiction, and the phone lines for suicide hotlines are exploding, particularly veterans who now are coming back to nothing. This is as bad as when vets came back from Vietnam. They're coming back to nothing. And they can't even do anything. They're coming back hoping to either be heroes or hoping to come back and be part of something again. And they're finding out their answer is to lay around and play video games and to have the VA write them checks. And not that they shouldn't get checks, but they should be doing something. They should have a purpose. They should have something to do, and they don't. And when you make that happen, now we're talking a recipe for self-destruction, and we're seeing it again and again. I'm gonna grab a couple comments. I got a bunch that came in on the interwebs, so I'm gonna grab a couple. Aaron says, Governor Cooper, I'm assuming that's your governor, took his boot off our throats. The last two weeks have been my best Uber income since Christmas before COVID. Now, Aaron, this is the funny thing you bring up. People got so mad. I think it was Mississippi and Texas who basically said, we're open. Do it. DeSantis, same thing. We're open. We're open. Just do stuff. Just go. And this goes back to my point. And thank you for bringing this up, Aaron. As soon as that happened, people said, oh my God, the world's going to end. Now everybody's going to die of COVID. You're going to watch all the cases shoot up. You watch all the people dying. Did more cases go up? In certain cases, it did. But they were with the youth who decided to go out and start working again, like you're talking about, going out and doing Uber, going out and doing things. And some cases went up in certain situations. Some cases went up, but deaths didn't. In fact, deaths are still going down. Still going down, even after they opened up. Why? Because we, as Americans, as human beings, want to protect our elderly, and we figured out now that they're the ones who are most susceptible to being hurt here. So we're still protecting them. I took my mother-in-law out yesterday in New York. I took her out with my wife. And you know what we did? We masked up and gloved up because she's in her 80s and it's a pre-existing condition. If COVID gets her, she might be finished. If it gets my kids, they'll get sick maybe for a day and move on. So we protect her because we care about her. So we protect her. And we find out that that's what most people are doing now. Many restaurants are still putting in their own rules and regulations, even though the state has said you don't need to. Why? Because we want people to come to our stores. And if stores want people to wear masks, we'll wear masks. Whether we want to or not as a store owner, we don't care. We want them to feel safe because they're our customers. If a customer say, I don't care about masks, fine, no masks, whatever customers want. We want to move forward. We didn't just all of a sudden have everything crash. And you seeing it right here. If we would have done what I talked about a year ago, now literally a year ago, and allowing this to take its course in the first 3 months to figure out what works, what doesn't work, we've been in a way better place. Well, how we're opening up now, we would have been opening up in my plan, if we started it in March, we'd be opening up with my plan by last June. Totally different issue. I completely agree. Yes. Rose says, hoodie pocket, huh? Yes, he literally had the gun as a pistol. It's a revolver, I think, if I remember right. He had a revolver, I think. It was in his pocket. Pulled it out. Yes. I guess that's the cool way of carrying your firearm nowadays. I didn't think that was the cool way, but I guess the cool kids are carrying it in their hoodie pocket. That's the thing, I guess. Yes, absolutely. Shadowfall says 10 years ago, they wouldn't have locked down. They did it because we have Zoom and online conferencing. Huh. So you think this was planned? That's a tough one. It is tough for me to grasp. Do you think they only shut down because we had Zoom and online conferencing? They tried shutdowns like 100 years ago. It didn't go very well, but they did try it about 100 years ago, and it was nowhere near this. They didn't have phones even. I mean, they weren't mainstream at least. We didn't have phones even, right? 1919, I think, 1919, 1920, in that area. They tried some lockdowns. It didn't work. Shadfoot, I hope you're wrong. I don't know if you're wrong, but for me to imagine that there is some type of
my name is Vosh. I'm a political live
that got people to shut down so they can increase Zoom. I really hope that's wrong. So Nate says, I feel horrible for the kids. Nobody wants to talk about the long-term effects of them being locked inside is doing on them. 100%, Nate. This was my point. The damage isn't just adults. The damage is also our kids. Kids who are trying to decide how to grow up and who to be. Kids who are trying to figure out how to interact. Our kids already are struggling to make relationships, to find partners for their games, and even for romance as teenagers. They're having trouble. This is just making things worse. I see it in my daughters. I have a 10-year-old and a 16-year-old, and both are struggling. Absolutely. Nate goes on to say them losing sports, events, schools, other things. Yeah. What about those kids who, try to get that basketball scholarship or that baseball scholarship or whatever is the thing they're trying to achieve? Guys and gals in a chess club. I mean, all those things. I completely agree. It is a massive problem. This is a big deal. But I want to go someplace else if I could. Thank you for those comments. I have a bunch more. But I'll move forward to a second piece. It isn't just the violence. It is the violence. On top of that, it's the economic damage. And I'm going to look specifically at New York City. I live in New York City. So I'm going to talk about New York City a little bit specifically. New York City is probably going to have about a $12 billion deficit, give or take. They can't be sure because their accounting's fuzzy anyway. 12 billion just in New York City. That's insane. That's the deficit. That isn't the budget. That deficit is more than the budget of most most American cities. And that's just our deficit. But not just that. We lost at the height about 1 million workers out of New York City at its height. About 1 million. This year to be about 500,000. Won't be coming back. So we think. Maybe later, kind of maybe, remote. And 100,000, we just lost, period. Not even remote, gone, never coming back. How does a city lose 100,000 workers permanently and still survive? That's more than a population of a bunch of cities, period. That's an issue. The economic pain is going to be even worse because that's going to spur things like divorces, violence, all those things. Am I wrong? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharp on A Free Solution here in WYSL. Back after the break.
God bless America.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Turning mostly cloudy, a bit breezy out there, very mild. Temps will stay into the 50s on Wednesday. Some rain will move through at times. We'll start the day in the 50s. We'll end in the low 40s, so it'll get colder in the afternoon. We'll go near freezing Wednesday night. Rain will end in some wet snow into Thursday morning. Snow showers Thursday. Might see a couple of inches of slushy snow on Thursday. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
It's time to take advantage of your life being disrupted this year by calling Lawrence Associates Insurance at 227-7500. If you're driving fewer miles or working remotely, you could be saving on your auto insurance. Did you build that new home office or take on a remodeling project while you had some downtime? Call Lawrence Associates to make sure your house is properly covered. 227-7500. Lawrence Associates, the right coverage at the right price. For all your insurance needs since 1962, call 227-7500.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pat Brophy from UR Medicine, Golisano Children's Hospital. When your favorite team wins, it's because they work together. When a medical team saves a life, it's because they put all their skills together. That's why Golisano Children's Hospital is so dedicated to creating a healthy community. It will give kids in the region access to advanced care, help us do groundbreaking research, and provide top-notch training to the next generation of pediatricians. You can help us do this, so please give to Golisano Children's Hospital.
Escape from the everyday to a getaway at Woodcliff Hotel and Spa. Woodcliff features elegantly appointed accommodations, creative cuisine, themed suites, full-service spa Elan, and is Rochester's best venue for outdoor wedding receptions overlooking the city skyline. Woodcliff Hotel and Spa, where the experience is extraordinary. Located in Fairport, call 585-381-4000 or visit woodcliffhotelspa.com.
WYSL and the Roberts Wesleyan Athletic Department proudly feature the Red Hawk Report Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8:45 and Wednesday afternoons at 4:45. Each week, the Roberts Wesleyan Athletic Department will keep you up to date on vital issues in the Rochester area's only Division II sports program. The Red Hawk Report is made possible by Golisano Children's Hospital and Heritage Christian Services. The Red Hawk Report, exclusively on your local college sports leader, WYSL 92.1 FM and 1040 AM.
Fratelli's Restaurant in Avon will be open Easter Sunday from 3 to 8 p.m. Fratelli's is open for dine-in and takeout Thursdays through Sunday. View the menu online, fratellisavon.com. Reserve now for Easter Sunday. Call 346-6160. Homemade meals like Grandma used to make. Fratelli's Restaurant, Route 15, just south of Exit 9 on I-390.
Last Wednesday, we asked the question, are you ready? And your answer was another resounding victory for the Roberts Wesleyan College Redhawks. Today, we say thank you and celebrate a record-setting day of giving that far exceeded all of our goals. This season, we have safely returned to play, and to date, we have celebrated conference titles and NCAA appearances through the support and prayers of the Redhawks family. To continue that support or learn more about the Redhawks, visit robertsredhawks.com and make it yours.
With colder weather coming, know that Turnbull, your York certified comfort expert dealer, has the highest quality, most reliable York systems with the best warranty in the business. Install confidence this winter season with Turnbull Heating in York. 10-year parts and labor warranty, 0 interest up to 18 months, more than $300 in utility rebates, and 24/7 service by certified Turnbull technicians. Install confidence this season with Turnbull and York.
You'll be comfortable with the best. Turnbull Heating and Air.
Call 343-2005 in Avon 226-6180.
A free solution.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to A Free Solution. Larry Sharp here on WYSL, Rochester, New York, WENY Elmira, according to Patriot, WACK in Newark, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number. So happy that you are with me. Do me a favor. Recognize that I also am host of the Sharp Way Show. And if you feel compelled, you think I'm giving you something interesting, something cool, follow me there too. Not just on A Free Solution. Do that. And follow me on the Sharp Way Show. The more people who follow me on Sharp Way, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the more cooler people will think I am. And I really want people to think that I'm cool, whether I am or not. It's still good. So I want to grab a couple more comments. And I want to head on down the financial damage also. So Nate brings up, banning guns in my area gets people killed, Allegany County. Yep, the police response time is well over 30 minutes. Of course. I mean, this is something I learned last year when I was coming up with my ideas for reforming police. I had really based most of my ideas on New York City. It's what I know. So that's what I assumed. I based most of my ideas on urban policing. I mean, New York City has about 40,000 cops. That's, there's probably more people. There's probably about the same amount of people in Allegany County as there are cops in New York City, right? So that's what I based it upon. But when I brought my plan out, I had a lot of people talk to me. Luckily, most of them weren't mad at me. They were like, Larry, I think you don't get how rural policing works. And we had some serious conversations. And there definitely is a serious difference in rural policing versus urban policing. And I think we have to put that into place when we talk about reforming police. If you're pretty much happy with your police force, why would you want to reform it? If this is how it works for you, you're okay with it, great. But if I'm going to do that, then I also have to be able to have, clearly, I have to have more liberal, in the classical sense, more liberal gun laws. Right, I have to be able to allow people to defend themselves, particularly if people have to wait 45 minutes for the cop to come. So I completely agree. Yes. James says, COVID passports remind me of freedom papers and Kennkarte identification in Nazi Germany. I know people talk about it often, and it is a bit scary. I agree. Absolutely. But you know what? Let me, for a second, if I could. There's a part of me that thinks New York State, His Majesty, King Andrew Cuomo II, all hail the king, that he might have rushed this COVID passport thing, vaccination passport thing, on purpose. More distraction. Think about this. You go back a couple of months, and it was, oh my God, our governor killed a bunch of old people in a nursing home. What a horrible murderer he is. Then he was like, well, look over there. Look over there. Look over there. He did that. And then all of a sudden, don't bother me because they're not. Bother me because I harass women. Way better than being a murderer. And I don't want to be a harasser and I don't want to be a murderer. But if I got to pick, I'm going to go with harasser, right? So I think he went, let's go to harasser. See, I'm a harasser. And people around him went, ooh, if they bring him down for the nursing homes, then other people around him might also go down too. We don't like that. Let's be quiet about these nursing homes because we were around it when it was happening and we were covering up too. Oh, but harassment? That's just him. Yeah. Let's get him on that. So even people around him were like, let's get him on harassment. Forget that murder thing. Let's get him on harassment. And now he was like, look over there. Wait for the investigation. Look over there. And now he's like, COVID passports. Be mad at me for that. It could be a bunch of distraction. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So thank you for that, James. Jamie says, wait till the economic crash coming. Yes. Oh my God, Jamie, you are correct. I drove around Rochester and the amount of retail stores closed in Henrietta are staggering. I can't wait for the increase in taxes to make up for it. You literally stole my thunder, Jamie. You stole my thunder. That's the next thing. Because while New York City has lost permanently at least 100,000 workers and temporarily 500,000, and some of those may be permanent in the long run also, it's also New York State, as of last year, lost over 100,000 stores. Well, small businesses, I'm sorry, not stores. Over 100,000 small businesses. As of last year, at least 60,000 were permanent, if not more. So now maybe there's 100,000 gone that are permanent. How do you recover from that? And the problem that you keep hearing is, well, we're going to solve this, lad, because we're going to build infrastructure. That's the answer. Build infrastructure. And the logic behind this, we build infrastructure, we'll make government jobs. That's not a bad thing by default, but how does that grow us? Where's the growth issue? It's spend money and cut. So spend money and cut and raise taxes on the wealthy. Now, I get why people want to raise taxes on the wealthy. It feels good. Those bad rich people, have them give us money, right? It feels good. I got you. The question is, when do rich people pay a lot of taxes? Well, percentage-wise, they don't. There's literally a tax avoidance industry. And I'm not making that up. That's a real thing. There's a tax avoidance industry. The grifters in that industry too. Like, make more tax loopholes. Make a thicker tax book. I can't wait till the tax law is 400,000 pages long. Can't wait. Because then they get to hire experts to make sure the wealthy people don't pay those taxes. So we vote to try to figure out people who are going to get these evil rich people to pay all these taxes, and we make massive detailed taxes, and you get to tax if your hair is 15 inches long on a Thursday, but you only pay 18% if it's 9 inches on a Friday, and all that stuff. And then the actuaries come in and make sure that they don't pay it. So we feel good. We raise tax on the rich. They don't pay it. Or they leave, which is the other thing that's happening in New York City. Or they leave. If they begin to leave, we're going to struggle in this state. A lot of tax revenue comes from the wealthy in New York City. If they start leaving, we're going to struggle even more. The question I have always, where's the growth plan? Where's the growth plan? I think it was January or February, maybe. I forgot which month it was. We gained about 50,000 jobs in America. I forgot what it was, 50,000 jobs. 40,000 were government jobs. How is that a good thing? Now, if you got one of those government jobs, good on you. I hope you make money and pay your bills. I'm a big fan of paying bills, and I hope you're able to pay yours. What I'm saying, as a state, as a nation, we can't have 80% of our jobs government jobs. How about 20% government jobs, 80% private sector jobs? This is my other issue. I think Jamie's completely right. Once we get back out and start actively looking for work again and trying to make things happen, and we realize the devastation, it's going to be like a bombed out city or bombed out places. How do we rebuild? It's not easy at all. It's going to be very hard. And I think many of us are going to be scarred for a long time. So let me grab a couple more of these if I can. All right. Jamie says, I've been prepping for it. Going to have an awesome garden this year. Nicely done, Jamie. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. So Ed says, we know those wasted their energy to fight over political differences and nonsense. That's no effect. They don't know the real enemy is behind driving the people apart. Which, yes, what Ed's trying to say here, and I agree with him, we are still fighting on things that aren't critical. We're still just fighting on things that aren't going to affect us versus trying to grow us, right? Look, I don't want to put social issues into a bin that is nobody cares. We should care about social issues. They do matter. Of course they matter. Here's also the reality. You can tackle your social issues a whole lot easier when you've got cash. It's just a fact of life. Doesn't mean you'll solve it. Doesn't mean you'll be happy. Money does not equal happiness. But when you've got more cash, you have more options. You have more choices, right? You have an option to make things better, to move, to try new things. And whether that's you as an individual, you as your family, you as a community, us as a state, us as a nation, all the same. You can't take economics and make it totally separate from social issues. Sometimes, though, you have to focus on economic first and stop worrying about dividing us and get us all moving forward. I think, Ed, your point is a valid one. I appreciate that. John says, even in the city of Syracuse, response time for cops takes a while. Sure, and that's urban policing, absolutely. New York City, too. And even select what calls to go on. Someone in a life-threatening situation is screwed. I think it's often true, right? You don't have to worry about that. Very, very often, cops show up to take a report and then investigate and find somebody, right? That's a common issue. So, yeah, that is a common issue. So, all right. Ed then says, raise tax on the wealthy is more like they want to tax the middle class. See, and there's the issue. You brought it up again, Ed. They continue to lower what is wealthy. Remember, wealthy used to be $1 million or more. Then it's $400,000 or more. Soon it'll be $200,000 or more. Now, $200,000 in certain parts of this country, you're doing really well. Like you are killing it at $200,000 a year. If you're living in Manhattan, that's almost middle class. That's two people living in Manhattan and have a good lifestyle. That's all it is. That's not wealthy in Manhattan. Some parts of the city that is, but in Manhattan, that's two people living a regular lifestyle. So, and before you know, it'll be 100,000, and it'll keep going down. That'll be 50,000. That'll be anybody who's not on public assistance is rich. So, yeah, that definitely is a problem. 100%, yes. I applaud anyone able to avoid paying taxes. Avoiding theft should be cheered, not booed. Sean, I'm not booing it either way. I'm just saying it's reality, right? There's a saying, I forgot where I got this from. The saying is, tax evasion is illegal, but tax avoidance is an American imperative, right? That's what you're supposed to do as an American. You try to avoid tax. You don't want to evade tax. That's against the law. But you do want to avoid tax to the best of your ability. I think that's most people think that. I'm just saying the reality of it, right? If we want to grow revenue, we should grow commerce. That's the key. More commerce, more revenue. More revenue, you can lower the tax rate. The more people in New York State with more commerce, everyone pays less taxes. And that's what I want to do. Less taxes, more money in your pocket, better chance you can fix your problems without government interference. That's a real free solution. Yeah, Larry Sharp, WYSL, a free solution. Back after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Hey, it's Larry Sharp here, back on A Free Solution. Happy to be here. WYSL, Rochester, New York. WENY, Elmira, and Corning, The Patriot. WACK in Newark, New York. Prior to the break, I was taking some comments that are coming from the web. I appreciate, by the way, all the comments you guys put in there. And I guess the biggest issue that I want to bring up regarding all of this is that people aren't talking about the key issues. They're talking about distraction. It's easier to do that. And in our case in New York State here, you can see without question our governor has been in trouble. And now it's all distraction. It's all let's start throwing other stuff at you to make you think about the other thing and not about the key issue. I don't know how many times I have talked about fighting the root and not the branch. And that's hard. I'm agreeing that it's a difficult thing to do. To say to yourself, you know what? I have to figure out what is the root cause of this and attack that root. And that might be hard. That might be challenging. People might not want to hear it. The branches are easy. They snap right off, but they grow right back. The branches are easy because people can see it. Look, he pruned the tree. He pruned the bush. Look at how effective he is. Larry's pruning. Look, he chopped like 3 branches off. He's the coolest guy around. But attacking the root actually kills the problem. But the issue is when you attack the root, the tree doesn't die right away. It takes time, but the tree dies. And people don't see it. So who wants to fight some root that they may not see the tree die for who knows how long? And then when the tree dies, someone else will go, see, it was me, that last branch I popped off. That's what killed it. Not that thing Larry Sharp did a month ago. It's me with the branch thing I've been doing. It's a problem. But the next thing is, if you go after the root, do people even believe it's the root? And then if you hate the fact that people aren't going after the root, do they say, why do you not care about the branches? This is a challenging place to be. It's one of the reasons why you see me put out so much content every single week. It's why you hear me talk about this constantly. I'm hoping that many of you are hearing this and it's affecting how you communicate. I hope you're hearing this and going, you know what, maybe this is a branch issue, not a root issue. I need to be finding the root issue. And I don't just mean that for our nation or for our state. I mean this for you too, for your family, for yourself, all those things. Are you being distracted, Ed? I don't know if you are, but I know, Ed, you talk about distraction all the time. But are you doing it? Or are you focusing on yourself? And the last example I'll give is all of the protesting. Yep, I'm going to cover both together, put them both together as I often do. The lockdowns, people not having purpose, and the protesting and the riots. Well, when you have nothing to do and someone says, get outside and riot or protest or whatever, you go do it. Because what else are you going to do? Watch more Netflix? How much Hulu can you watch? Right? How much can you watch? At one point, you get off your butt and you go outside and you protest with the others. And now you're excited and you're happy. You're like, yeah, this is exciting. We're doing stuff. I have purpose. I'm not in my room now on watching YouTube. I'm not doing that. I'm out. And now some knucklehead says, hey, let's go do this violent thing. Yeah. And you're young and you're bored and you have no purpose. So you say, all right, let's go do this violent thing. And then you do it. Or you don't even want to do it, but you think it's cool and exciting. So you hang out with them and you go with them and watch them do the bad, evil, violent thing. And you put it up on, I don't know, Twitter or Instagram or whatever is the cool thing of your world. You do that because you're not working, because you're not hanging out with your family and friends, because you're not doing stuff that normal humans do on a daily basis. You start doing that. And now you're violent or part of it. If you're not violent yourself, you're part of it. And please, I'm not saying they're not responsible. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you create an environment that encourages this, people do it. That's what I'm saying. Could they have chosen to stay home and watch Hulu? They could have, 100%. They could have watched Amazon Prime. Up to them. They chose to go out. I'm agreeing. But the environment would not have existed for them to make that decision if we didn't have these lockdowns. But there's another piece of that. This goes back to Ed's point of distraction. When I'm sitting home, feeling sorry for myself in a pity party, which people always do, and get out of it, obviously. Some people stay in it, and that's depression. But we all have a pity party for ourselves once in a while. And I had that pity party for myself. I don't have my job. I don't have my company. I don't do my thing, whatever. I can't find a girlfriend. I can't find a boyfriend, whatever. Okay. I feel that. It's way easier to go save someone else and to work on someone else than to work on yourself. Way easier. I'm going to go out and solve these issues of the world. I'm going to have righteousness and I'm going to be all these cool things. I'm going to fix it. Country's in trouble. I'm going to save the country. I have an idea. Save yourself. People in the liberty movement always ask me all the time, Larry, I want to move forward in the liberty movement. What should I do? And I always say, make yourself stronger first. Don't try to save the world until you save yourself first. If you make yourself stronger, you are a better soldier, resource, help for any movement you want. I hope it's liberty movement, but whatever movement you want, please choose liberty. But anyway, whatever movement you want to choose, you are a better person. Whether you are physically healthier, financially healthier, emotionally healthier, romantically healthier, insert healthier thing here. It is nothing but good. This is what I want us to do. But we don't, because we want to go out and protest something that isn't even going to affect us. And you're right. We fall for the distraction.
1 minute.
And we protest stuff that doesn't even affect us. I would like us to not do that. I would like us to instead care about ourselves, make ourselves better. Now, our environment affects us, and the shutdowns make things worse. At the same time, make yourself better. As individuals, if we are stronger, we are by default stronger as a group. Let's stay together. We can do this. And guess what? That's free. It's a free solution. I said it again, wrapped it around. Larry Sharp of Free Solution. Thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.